what's up, guys? Got another new video here for you. This is Tuned In Sports, back with another video. We've got the Week 9 review, and not the Week 9 review that I put up last week, thinking last week was Week 9, but actually the Week 9 review. If you want to check out our Week 8 review and all the wonderful action that happened last week and relive all that, you know, you can go back and
rehash it.
Yeah, you can go back and experience that one all over again.
Nightmare after nightmare.
But, you know, rest assured that Week 9 offered its own set of lovely nightmares as well, yeah. So, with that being said, guys, I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm Steve.
I'm done.
And we've got plenty of action to hop into here. 3 of the 4 teams had games this week. The Lions had a bye week. So their fans got a much-needed rest from their weekly product. But unfortunately, the other 3 teams, you know, decided to show up for their games this week. So, but yeah, lots to talk about. And I suppose we'll start on the sole high note of the morning/afternoon and kick things off with the Broncos, which is honestly a rare thing on this channel because usually they're the 1 o'clock game. So we don't ever get to start with them. So let's go ahead and hop into their game. They were extremely dominant against the Cowboys today in basically all facets. They won time of possession 41 minutes and 12 seconds to 18 minutes and 48 seconds. You can give the Cowboys 16 points if you want to, but that was in garbage time. So, you know, it was 31-0 for quite a while, and they just completely dominated. You know, it brings me great joy and great happiness, especially with what I was getting ready to watch shortly thereafter with the Eagles game. For a few moments, I was extremely happy to watch the Cowboys just get obliterated, even though, you know, they're going to win the division regardless. So, yeah, but great job by Denver. If you guys watched the preview that me and Bennett had a couple days ago, it just posted this morning. He had picked I believe you picked the Broncos, right?
No, I picked the Cowboys.
Yeah, we both picked that's right, yeah. We both picked the Cowboys and not by a close margin. So, you know, the fact that it
wasn't close.
Yeah, exactly. So, great job by Denver. I'm not exactly sure what it means for the rest of the season. And if I'm being honest, it's probably more of a one-off than a new normal. But nonetheless, you know, you got to find a way to put some butts in the seats. And this will probably get the fan base all wild up and excited about next week, which is all that they want to do. So, there you go.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty good performance for the Broncos, especially considering, you know, like he said, me and Bryson were under the impression that they were going to come in and get blown out. So it was definitely, you know, good change from what we've been seeing. I mean, they were definitely the more like the aggressors in this game for sure. You know, controlled the line of scrimmage pretty much all game. The rookie running back that they got had a huge game too, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, good performance on both sides of the ball. And Cowboys, I don't know, they got to bounce back. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate. I had on the red zone at work, and it looked like I was just watching the Broncos game for most of the morning that I was watching. I mean, every time I turned around, oh, here's the Broncos in the red zone again. I mean, either making a play defensively or, you know, doing whatever was needed today. Very good win for them. You know, much needed for sure. I still got a little ticket on those boys to win the AFC, so I'm hoping they keep on making that push to the playoffs. See what happens there. But definitely an encouraging sign, you know, I mean, because I think they were kind of in that potential, we're going to either be in turmoil or we're going to get it right and start playing better. And the last couple of weeks anyway, it looks like they're trying to get it right and play better. rather than going to the midseason turmoil where you go, okay, what draft pick are we going to have? So hopefully, for Don's sake, it continues in the direction it's going at the moment. And, because all of us at this table probably all still feel like Denver's not a talent issue. It's just, kind of putting the pieces together and having the offensive game plan and everything that's able to put points on the board. And so if they can continue down this path that they were on today, then, who knows what the future may lie ahead for them. But overall, very good performance, and congratulations to the Broncos.
Yeah, it was a huge win. I mean, to go to Dallas with everybody back, ready to roll for the Cowboys, and put up that type of performance was unexpected, and it was nice to watch.
To be on to
actually see the potential of the team.
And actually see the beating on the other end rather than on the end that's been on.
Yeah, giving it out instead of receiving. But it's typical. When we first started, it was like the kickoff happened, and it was like, oh, here we go again. Dallas got it almost out the midfield.
Yeah.
On the opening kickoff, and so it was just like, oh, same old Broncos. Here we go again. But they put it all together. As usual, we can't go through the game without any injuries happening. So we started dumping more players through this game. So I'm not sure what we're going to have for the next following week, but the guys that were out there and be able to play, they played lights out. I don't think you could ask anything else that's on it. To put up on the road a 30-burger and then be leading at 30-0 in Dallas is pretty huge.
Well, and you think, and this is kind of funny to say, but you look at last year's struggles, right, with all the injuries. That's kind of what paved the way for this to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, those guys got the time last year, some playing time. So when they got on the field this year, it's not like a deer in the headlights. They're like, yeah, let me on the field. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of one of those things where sometimes having some guys go down doesn't necessarily mean it's death, at least for some teams, But, like I said, I'm really pleased with what the Broncos did today. That was a pretty awesome performance, man.
Yeah, and then, this gives me more of a inkling to put a petition for us to move to the NFC East. Since we're 3-0 against that division right now. So
can we get into that?
Yeah, we're gonna move out of our
petition.
Division, move over there. But Fangio still had his magic on the challenge flag this weekend too. So if you're looking for down spots, I'd say probably him and McManus for the two downers. Yeah. So hopefully next week they'll get that going. So let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you say, even in a 30 even in a 30-1 blowout, 31-0 blowout, you still got complaints with the head ball coach. Yeah. It's like, wow, wonderful job, guys. Yeah. But other than that though, good showing by the Broncos. And now that we got that fresh daisy out of our system, let's move into the shit.
Let's start fertilizing. Let's go.
Exactly. I guess we'll hop into the Bengals game, or lack thereof, next. They had a performance against the Brownies today. And, going into the game and during the preview, I kind of said that I thought it was a free-for-all, a little bit of a pick'em. And I thought that maybe the Browns would win just because I wasn't sure who was going to win. So I went with the team that I thought was a little bit better going in. But I didn't think that it was going to get this bad. Like I said, unfortunately, even though the Bengals had a game today, a good portion of their players decided to stay home. Even though they were there, they weren't there. It just, at really no point was it really much of a contest, unfortunately. And I expected better from them, especially coming off of that loss to the Jets last week. I know that I said in the preview that loss kind of rattled me on what I think of them, But I fully expected that after a loss like that to a team that you should easily beat, just generally speaking, that they would, at the very least, even if they didn't win, they'd bounce back and put out a good effort this week. But honestly, it was kind of the opposite. I didn't really think that anything I saw looked that spectacular today. The defense struggled. Saw a lot of missed tackles out there. A lot of open receivers just kind of standing around by themselves. Which, and weekly we talk about, even in their losses, that, a good portion of the time the defense has been really improved this year. So I was kind of surprised to see that, as well as the offense. They went through the rigmarole as well. Burrow had a couple of interceptions in the first half that kind of put him behind the 8-ball, and it didn't really seem like anything really flowed very well today for the Bengals. And like I said, coming off a loss to the Jets and going into another divisional game at home, you would hope to put out a better performance than what they did. I mean, I don't think that's unfair to say, the coaches will go in there and they'll say, "Oh, it starts with me, I got to do a better job," and from that standpoint and all the stuff that we've heard over the years. But the truth of the matter is that this time it definitely does. I mean, I don't think that they were prepared. I think they were still wallowing in the waste of that last game, and hadn't gotten a fresh pair of undies before they laced up for this week. So I mean, it's just unfortunate, and really, it's got to be frustrating as a fan, especially because I haven't really thought that the Browns have played to their potential this year, to this point. But they certainly, achieved it against the Bengals here. So it's unfortunate for the Bengals. And moving forward, you got to put out a better effort than what they did. Especially, like I said, especially at home against a divisional opponent. If you can't get yourself prepared or ready to put out a better effort than what they did today, then you're not anywhere close to where I thought they could be. I mean, I'm just being honest. If that's the kind of effort that you're putting out against a divisional opponent at home coming off a loss, then I don't think this team is as far along as they've maybe shown in past weeks. That's just how I feel about it. So, very, very, very disappointed in the effort shown today. And I don't know who they play against next, but they definitely gotta kick some asses in practice and get this boat turned around before you start on a losing streak and things start getting bad. So very unfortunate.
Yeah, there's none of that I can relate to. My team's always top notch. We don't know anything about losing games. I mean, come on.
That's why you're on Tuned In Sports.
Exactly.
You fit in with the crew.
Yeah, this is
None of us do.
Yeah, none of this.
We're all pristine.
Yeah, none of my teams ever do this kind of crap. I just watch it happen to others.
Yeah, we're usually on the giving out end of these kind of beatings.
Yeah, this was not obviously a game that anybody in Cincinnati wants to remember after today. It was about the worst performance that they could have put out there, which is kind of depressing, really, because there was a lot of hype involved with this team as of late, and I'm still not gonna go down the path of that they're not gonna be decent or not gonna be good moving forward. I still think that definitely can be the case, but today was definitely an alarming situation. But with that being said, I mean, it's not like Cleveland doesn't have a lot of talent on that squad. They're probably one of the more talented teams in the league, truthfully. So, I mean, Cleveland's capable of putting a beat down on you if things start going the wrong way. But definitely depressing for sure. Hopefully they'll get it straightened out, but if they don't, then, welcome to Detroit.
It'll just, yeah.
Yeah, tough loss for the Bengals today. They were coming off of that loss to the Jets, and now they put out this performance. So that's not the direction that they need to be going in.
Definitely not.
So, but it shows you what you can do when you get a cancer off your team, such as OBJ. So, congratulations to the Browns. Now your team actually looks like a team instead of a prima donna diva out there throwing around temper tantrum all the time. But the Browns aren't our focus on this channel, so we'll go back to the Bengals. That was tough. I mean, I hadn't seen a team like this, get a Cleveland Steamer like that before. Today, I mean, that was just brutal. But again, it's just I don't know what the issue is. Again, Cincinnati has talent. There's no doubt about it. They have players on both sides of the ball, but they're in a funk right now for some reason, and they just got to get out of it. So all I know is it's got to happen soon because they keep waiting around.
Yeah, they fall behind.
Well, they keep waiting around. Pittsburgh's just catching up on everybody. You know what I mean? And then that becomes a psychological thing of, they look at the standings every day and
here comes Pitt.
Oh, here's Steelers. Oh, here's Ravens. And then it becomes the same old story. And then they start, automatically doubting themselves.
Yeah.
Where this team shouldn't be doubting themselves because they do have the talent to win games and a lot of big games too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely disgusting. I'll say that. As far as my take on this game, where do I start, man? The sad thing though is we come out in the first half, really don't generally have a problem moving the ball. I mean, we were going right down the field, but turned the ball over twice on stupid decisions. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I mean, and that's just the turnovers alone got us behind. If we didn't, I remember we were down 24-10 going into half because we moved down the field and scored a field goal, which I thought was honestly pretty huge because I was like, you know what, that puts it to only 2 possessions. If we could get it turned around in the second half, we might have a chance. But they did the exact opposite of that and decided to come out and give up a, I think, 75-yard run to Chubb for a touchdown. So, and also, Eli Apple doing what he does best, getting burnt. He, gave up a 50-yard, almost 50-yard touchdown to Donovan Peoples-Jones today, which I can't remember which quarter that was in, but nice job there. The pass rush was not what it generally is today either. We weren't getting to Baker at all. I do recall us having at least 1 sack, but even that, it was a pretty rare occurrence. Shout out to the Browns O-line, I guess, for stopping a pass rush that's been pretty hot all season for the most part. So, yeah, just overall terrible performance. And, yeah, if they, like Don said, if they don't get it turned around soon, it's going to be downhill from here. We definitely need to win this game against the Raiders next week. I don't think we can afford to lose it, because if we do, we drop down to 500, and then it only gets tougher because we play the Steelers the next week. So, yeah, Raiders is a must-win.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't bounce back this coming week, then all is lost probably. So.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the uniforms?
Oh, well, I did love our uniforms, but
they look like death.
I know that was one of the things.
They're there for a funeral. It looked like they're all dressed in black.
Yeah, I know that.
I did think it was a good look for them, though.
Yeah, I know that was one of the things we talked about in the preview, was how those uniforms were gonna look.
Yeah.
Their newest combination of colors and stuff. So I thought they were pretty cool. But yeah, unfortunately, as cool as the uniforms were, it didn't save their performance.
No, it far from did.
Not a great way to bring out those uniforms and get stomped.
And I mean, the O-line, one more thing is the O-line was just atrocious today. They gave up like 6 sacks, I think, at least, today. I mean, that's just unexcusable. I mean, we haven't had a game with that many sacks all season. And that used to be a freaking common occurrence last year. I mean, how do we go back to that? I mean, especially with how good the O-line had been playing up to this point.
Just like that.
The Browns have talent.
So yeah, Clowney and Garrett.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference is that you had a pretty strong defensive line in front of you. That was the strength. So I mean, they're getting pressure without having to blitz. That's the whole thing. So when that happens, you're in trouble.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, still, I would have expected a little bit better performance.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I don't think that playing against the Steelers with TJ Watt and the Ravens with their usual stuff wasn't, a precursor to what they could expect. At the end of the day,
granted, Steelers didn't have Watt for our game, and also but
nonetheless, what is the AFC North generally, big guys and damaging defensive and offensive lines and stuff. So, at the end of the day, you just got to remember sometimes too that sometimes just people have a bad game, and when you're playing against, like they said, talent like the Browns have, like Clowney and the other guy, your bad game gets freaking magnetized and just blown up because you're not playing against guys that you can maybe get away with making a mistake. You're going against guys that will 100% just take advantage of your mistakes.
Yep.
And it was, like I said, it was just an overall, they just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't really click today. For the Bengals, unfortunately, in many areas.
Nope.
So,
I think this one kind of falls on the coaching staff myself.
Yeah.
Like you said, after coming off the loss to the Jets, you would have figured this week's practice would have been razor sharp. Like, we're going to bust some ass, we're going to fix what was wrong and get this right. And then to come out and basically have a duplicate performance, or even worse, truthfully.
Yeah.
To have that happen, it just is like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
The sad thing is that the Jets went back to losing again this week. Actually, they went back to their old selves and got beat by like 15 points today.
Thursday.
Yeah. So,
but nonetheless, yeah. Well, and like I said, it's the other thing about it is you're playing against a division opponent at home. So this isn't just like, it's okay, we're only playing against, Jacksonville or something like that. You're playing against one of the cogs of the division. So this is a game that you need to be prepared for, and,
they far from were prepared for it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, we still got one more crap show to talk about on this show, so let's go ahead and move on. And hop into this Eagles performance for this afternoon. And boy, you know what? Generally, we get on this show and we talk about the same crap every week, but this was a different crap. This was very different today. I honestly couldn't. I was honestly surprised at what I was watching. So much so that I fell asleep at halftime. It was almost like I was living in a dream world. But then, the nightmare woke me up and, we took another loss. So it's like, yep, I wasn't dreaming. Nope, this is reality still. We still lost. So, oh, man. But, anybody got any thoughts on this game?
Yeah.
Before we go score
yeah, tough loss for the Eagles.
I had a feeling you might say that.
Generally though, I think they played pretty well today. for the most part. I feel like they put out a good performance, just came up a little bit short. I mean, they put up 24, and that generally is enough points to win. And they lost on a last-second field goal, which tends to happen to teams like ours.
Boy, is that the truth.
Never a truer statement to be told.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, overall, solid performance. Balanced. Also, another balanced performance. I saw the Eagles try to run the ball a bit today, and that was pretty encouraging, if you ask me. It's showing growth in the coaching staff and the play calling for sure. Well, which coaching
Just
staff
means somebody's watching some tape,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, they took what they did against the Lions and said, okay, let's keep this mindset and see what we can do.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm
So
saying.
seeing how they lost today, they'll go back to the other.
Yeah, obviously that didn't work. Let's
Yeah,
go
obviously
back
the
to
running game is not how we're going to win.
Air raid it next week. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's honestly, it's like I was able to see a few plays of this game as well on the red zone, and I thought I mean the things that I was watching. I mean, the Eagles looked pretty damn good today. Looked like they were playing with some confidence. Definitely a spirited performance by them, and I think obviously it still adds up to another L in the column, but truthfully, I mean, I think there was some positives that they could take out of today's game moving forward. And like you said, it wasn't the same old that we were watching. It wasn't like the same old complaints or, sitting here going, I'm not watching tape. Because today they actually were doing some things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, that's an encouraging sign. And, sometime, when the talent matches, when they can get the talent to match what they're trying to do or whatever, I think it might turn into some pretty decent things. Because I think they still have some injuries in some areas as well, and I do think Jalen Hurts is kind of getting, when given the opportunity, it seems like he is playing a little bit better. Definitely from at least a game management standpoint or whatever. Doesn't seem like he's, making all the rookie mistakes that he had been doing before. Not to say that he can't continue to do that, but today was a decent performance, I thought, overall.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was actually pretty. This was one of the games that I was looking at this morning when I was at the book, and I didn't play anything. But when I was thinking about it, I said, what I like is I like the Eagles. I was going to bet the other side of the Eagles in the first half. Because the other team, the Chargers, were 2-point favorites. And I was thinking, man, I really like that. Considering how we always talk about the Eagles getting off to slow starts. You and I were talking about it, Don. So it's like they're getting off to slow starts all the time. I'm like, shit, you can't tell me that, that the Chargers with their offense shouldn't be able to put some points on the board. And shit, I'm glad I didn't bet it. Because they were down, the Eagles were up 10-7.5. So I'm like, shit. Obviously not an offensive explosion by the Eagles, but I mean, I just, like we said, I kind of like the way they did it, and things were changing a little bit. So I think that's a kind of a roadmap for them moving forward to maybe right the ship at some point. Maybe end up with 4 or 5 wins out of this.
Yeah, wouldn't that be wonderful? Great.
Play your cards right. You might be able to get 5 wins on the season.
You get 5 wins out of this shit.
Yeah, it seems like to me though that I don't know if the coach ran out of fertilizer today to get all those plants to grow with all the roots, but obviously ran out of steam at the end or shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's a good game by the Eagles. I mean this is kind of the game that I can't sit here and go they should have done this better. They played okay. I mean they were in the game and they weren't getting like too many stupid plays as far as what I could tell.
No, the Chargers are decent.
Yeah, that was everything. I mean the Chargers they were kind of like in the part with Cincinnati like the last 2 weeks like what the hell is this team doing?
Yeah.
You know, and so who knows? You know who are the Chargers? You know, with this. So, but like I said, as far as what I could tell, though, it was pretty decent game. I think they just came out, one less possession on the other end and did all right with it. So we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah. No, honestly, right after the game was over, I was a little bit pissed off. I mean, nobody likes to lose. But the truth of the matter is I've had a little bit of time to, calm down, think outside the box a little bit. And the truth of the matter is that we played well today. We really did. It was a spirited effort. It was a much different game than we're used to seeing. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, we talked about this week 1, we talked about it week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, going back to last season, And that's what I generally find myself saying on this show. As a matter of fact, a couple nights ago, I was watching, some videos from last season again. I was watching week 11 and week 3 review from 2019-2020 NFL football season, and here we were talking about the same crap. And I'm thinking, boy, I can't wait to talk about it again tomorrow night, But honestly, like I said, it was a completely different performance. We came out actually looking good. We were responding. It wasn't one of those things where we had a decent one drive and then completely went in the shell for 4 quarters. We actually were competitive the whole time. We had a chance to win. We went down and scored the game-tying touchdown when we needed to. And then, unfortunately, we got the ball back to the Chargers. And at the end there, they just made one more play than we did. We couldn't get the stop when we needed to. We finally get the stop. Oh, here's all of a sudden a whistle. Oh, by the way, they called the timeout. Rerun that play. Next play, bloop, get the first down. Bang a field goal through. Just like we talked about with the Lions the other week, in a day of missed extra points and missed field goals, boy, that Chargers guy knocked it right through the uprights. I mean, it was just one of those things where, like I said, the Chargers just made one more play than we did today. But at the end of the day, like Don said, we're not here to talk about the Chargers. We're here to talk about the Eagles. And looking at the Eagles' performance, I'm not going to say that there was really, like he said, anything that I can say, boy, we just sucked today. I mean, we competed. We didn't do great on defense, but at the same time, we didn't do horrible. Defensive line was not very good today. But what I will say is, like they mentioned in the post-game conference multiple times, is that Justin Herbert was getting rid of the ball so fast that they just didn't have time to get to him, honestly. I mean, by the time they were to him, he had already released the ball. And I think, if there is one complaint, part of the reason why that might be is because when you're giving up the soft stuff and the underneath throws, he doesn't need to wait. When you're playing off coverage, he can get rid of the ball real quick. So, again, I'll say that's on scheming. You know what I mean? When you're allowing that stuff, what do you expect him to do? Just, well, we'll wait for somebody else to open up. No, take it, if they're going to offer it. And, with that being said, one of the guys in the post-game conference, Ike, whatever his name is, ex-Eagles player, one of the comments that he was making, as well as the other gentleman on the show, was like, oh, well, when you see these people get on these crazy completion percentages and stuff against the Eagles, it's a little bit misleading because even though they're getting these short things, it doesn't always lead to first downs and touchdowns and stuff. It's okay if we give up a 3-yard pass on first down. What does it matter? But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, yeah, it's easy to say that, but the truth of the matter is if the quarterback gets in a rhythm, that's not helping your situation either. You know what I mean? If you're giving him this easy stuff, getting him into the flow of the game, getting him comfortable early, that can impact the performance. When you got a 90% completion percentage for whoever the hell, Derek Carr the other week, you mean to tell me that's a recipe for winning? I mean, you're right. No, does that mean that they're necessarily blowing us out just because he completed a lot of passes? No, not necessarily. That doesn't mean that every pass was a touchdown. But at the same time, when you got a guy playing with that much confidence and walking around feeling like he's invincible, is that great for your defense? No, it's not. So that whole argument, in my opinion, still gets back to the point of I just don't see how we can play with this defensive mentality and it equate to winning games consistently. I mean, because again, like he said, what are the Chargers? I'm not really sure. Some weeks they look like they could be a team on the uprise. Other weeks they look like the Chargers from last season. So I don't really know what to think of the Chargers. I think they're at least good, but I think that there's better too. And when we face those better opponents, I think we'll lose to those better opponents because of the fact that the defensive strategy is lending itself to quarterbacks having a good day, getting in the rhythm, walking down the field. And some of the quarterbacks, especially that have been in the league for a while, they're going to know what they need to do. Because just like we always talk about how we're not watching tape, Tom Brady is. Aaron Rodgers is. So when they come to town, they're just going to say, oh, I already know what to do. You know, watch that tape from Derek Carr. He mapped it out for you. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just a little bit frustrating, to be honest with you, that we're on that front. But even with that being said, we weren't horrible on defense. And our offensive line was excellent today. Running the ball was excellent today. Jalen Hurts was very good today. And it's mostly because he didn't have to do it by himself. Thus far this season, he's accounted for 85% of the total Eagles offense. Whether that be him running, him scrambling, him doing option and stuff, he's like 85% of the Eagles offense. I don't care if he is a seasoned veteran. When you're responsible solely for that much and you have that much pressure on you, you're going to struggle, let alone when you're a new player, essentially, haven't even completely finished a full season in the league. You're going to struggle. So, anyways, I think that was a little bit ridiculous, and it's nice to see a more balanced attack is where I'm leading to with that. Now, I just want to finish with one quick thing about the Eagles, and I know this is going to sound a little bit crazy, especially coming off a loss this week, but just bear with me, guys. So let me tell you, this is our upcoming schedule. So now I know that the Broncos won today and had a very good performance and have had great performances against the NFC East. So I'm not guaranteeing anything. But listen to the rest of our schedule. We got at Denver, the Saints at home, the Giants on the road, the Jets on the road, Washington at home, the Giants at home, Washington on the road, and Dallas at home. That is our remaining schedule. Now, I'm looking at that, and I'm saying to myself, how many of those games can you look at and say, yeah, we're probably just going to straight up lose? Maybe one. I think maybe Dallas at home, but at the same time, that's week 17. They may not have anything to play for. So we might be playing Cooper Rush or something. You know what I mean? But by week 17, they'll probably have the division wrapped up. So my guess would be that they may not, unless they can potentially get a number 1 seed or something, they may not have anything to play for. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that we're automatically beating Denver or the Saints or any of these teams, but I'm not looking at any of those games and saying, boy, we're in trouble. I mean, Denver's been anything but consistent for the most part, except for consistent in the things you don't want to see. The Saints, we're going to be playing Trevor Siemian. The Giants suck. Washington has been up and down all season. And then the Cowboys and the Jets.
The Cowboys look like crap today.
Yeah, and the Cowboys look like crap today. But, I mean, I'm just saying, looking at that, I'm seriously thinking to myself, I could see us losing if we play to our potential. I could see us maybe losing 1, maybe 2 of those. But other than that, we have a chance in every one of those games. So, like I said, hold on to your seats when I say this. But given the fact that most of the rest of the NFC is kind of outside of the division leaders, a lot of the teams are kind of struggling and don't have great records that we kind of expected to be in the picture, we could easily sneak into a wild card with this remaining schedule. I mean, I truly believe it. If let's say we can beat Denver next week, like I said, not guaranteeing. Let's say we beat the Saints, we beat the Giants, we beat the Redskins football team, excuse me. Even if we have the series with them and we lose to the Cowboys, if we have 2 losses, we're going to be, that's a winning record right there. If we just only have 2 losses the rest of the season. And the way that we've been playing against the Lions, and then the performance we had today, where the offense was very balanced, we focused on running the ball, and we did a lot of good things, I truly believe that this is a team that could make it into the playoffs. Now, does that mean we're doing anything once we get there? No. And at the end of the day, like I said, we're not winning the division, so it'll be in a wild card. But I'm just saying, I mean, honestly, I thought today's game was one of the toughest ones we had remaining, and we played well. Mm-hmm. We didn't do anything that suggests to me that we're going to get creamed by these other teams. And if anything, the other teams that played today just further enhance my belief that we have more than a shot against them. So, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying we're going all the way or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, if we continue on the trend that we're going right now, continue to put out performances like we did this week and last week, continue to focus on the running game and stuff like that, with our remaining schedule, we could easily build ourselves up a bit of a win streak here, as well as take advantage of unfortunate situations like the quarterback for the Saints being out when we happen to play them. We could easily get ourselves on a winning streak here going into the postseason. And if we do get on a winning streak, I think it could be enough to get us a wild card position, because I'm not looking outside of, there's a handful of teams, obviously the division winners, and then I'm thinking the Rams and the Cardinals, whichever team doesn't win the division will be in there, and then maybe Minnesota. But other than that, we got a bunch of middle of the road teams that are pretty much looking at the same record as us right now. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you that most of them don't have the cupcake schedule we have left. So that's why I say, I'm not saying that we're going to just dominate the rest of the way, because we are still the Eagles, and I know well enough to know that trees don't grow overnight. But I'm just saying that we could easily turn this into a positive season for us and get some things going into the, and especially if we play against Dallas and they have nothing to play for, we could win that game too. We could win it anyways, maybe, I don't know, but if they have nothing,
the way they look today, I'd say it's possible.
Well, especially if they have nothing to play for and we do, then we could easily win that game as well. And that one will be at home too. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with this Eagles
See
team.
what the weather looks like.
Yeah,
Get them outdoors. Get them outdoors in the wintertime.
Yeah, maybe we can have another snow bowl.
Yeah.
But, I'm just being honest and saying that, like I said, it was unfortunate that we lost today, because if we could have won today, that could have really gave us some momentum and started the potential win streak, or just got us kind of going in the right direction. But whatever the case may be, we lost. It is what it is. But like I said, even though we're 3-6, if we only have like 2 more losses on the rest of the season, and then we win 5 or 6, we could be freaking 8-8 or 9-7 at the best, and I think that could be enough to make it into a wild card spot this year with the performance of other teams around the league. Not guaranteeing anything, but I'm trying to look at it positively, because I feel good about the direction that we're heading in based on these last couple weeks' performances. If we can stay focused on the running game like we have been, is it going to be perfect? No, but I think that we could be onto something here all of a sudden.
I do too.
And I can't believe I'm saying that, because, Lord, if you've watched these first handful of weeks, it has been the exact opposite. But I'm serious when I say that. I'm not just pulling this out and saying, yeah, imagine if we could do that. I honestly think that it's a possibility. Mm-hmm. With our schedule and, our opponents and the way that we've been building over the last couple weeks, I'll be the first one to crack jokes about that whole planting roots and trees and all that crap that Sirianni was talking about the other day. But at the end of the day, hey, since that, we've been a different team. We have. So I'll give him his credit.
Yeah, well, what he didn't tell you, he was smoking the weed.
Yeah, exactly.
Out the weed!
Yeah, he's like, we're going to talk.
Smoking the hooch.
Yeah, I was giving him a presentation about trees as I was passing one around is what was going on, Mother Buff. But no, nonetheless,
settled
though.
the team down.
Nonetheless, though, I mean, like I said, I think it's being a little bit overly positive to assume that will happen, but I'm just saying it's not out of the question. And if we can keep this going, then maybe we're not the train wreck that I thought we were. We'll see what happens, but overall, I'm pretty happy with today's performance, even though we lost. Great effort, and at home, I don't think there was anything to be, sad about with where we're at right now and our projection for the rest of this season. And what we were expected to be. I feel like this was a damn good performance for us against a relatively good team. So, but with that being said, we still lost.
That just tells you, though, like how the influence of the Lions,
Yeah.
what that does for the rest of the league.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, it may have changed your season around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can thank Detroit when we get to the.
Well, I mean, first I was going to say playoffs. I mean, this is tuned in sports. There shouldn't be that much positivity happening down there about us doing down this positive great schedule. We all know the truth. It's going to be every week by week, and then we're going to make a disappointment by somehow.
Yeah, exactly. We'll blow a game against Washington and New York,
Exactly.
and we'll be sitting here saying, "Boy, what the hell happened?"
Why are we 5-12?
Yeah, exactly. We won't win any of those games that I mentioned.
Right.
And then I'll be sitting here saying, "Jesus Christ, what happened?" But I mean, like I said, it's being a little bit overly optimistic for sure. To assume that we'll just all of a sudden be super consistent, which is something that we haven't been in ages. So,
but the signs are kind of pointing in the right direction, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, they're like you said, if they play like they've been playing, and then the way the performances have been happening, and that schedule definitely is, you can't get it much more favorable than that unless you're in the AFC East.
Yeah. Exactly, and we even play a team from the AFC East.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I mean that's about it, right? I mean, it's looking good.
Yeah.
If you can do that, but just don't cock it up.
No, exactly. I'm not going to sit here preaching it every week. You're going to have to search and find to talk about to find where I talked about it, because you won't hear it mentioned again after we're 5-12. But oh well, it is what it is. On to the next week. This week has passed us. Another week of mostly losses on the channel. So mark it up to another successful weekend for Tuned In Sports. Yeah. Next week the Lions are back into the fold. So
Steelers.
And the Bengals
the Lions got excitement.
Yeah.
The Lions got excitement against the Steelers, and then the Bengals are playing the Raiders.
No, they're not. They got bye week.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
So
congratulations.
Yeah,
so we'll have a chance to lose that.
Yeah,
You got a chance to lick your wounds from the last 2 weeks.
So we'll replace the Lions with the Bengals with the Lions, and then the Eagles and the Broncos got a crazy matchup going on in Denver next week. So those times.
Epic tilt between these two unbelievable franchises.
Yeah, exactly. Two powerhouse offenses are going to be facing off. And,
I'm gonna say 3-3 at half.
Yeah, exactly. So
final score would be like the Buffalo game today, 9-6.
Over under on challenge flags.
Yeah.
5.
Over.
Yeah. But anyway, lots to be excited about and lots to be upset about. But we're chugging along into week 10 next week. We'll see what ends up happening. But I think we'll call it good for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Check out our past videos, and continue to check out our future videos and future content. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm pissed.
And I'm done.
No, hats off to the Red Wings today. Knocked off the Knights. Big win.
I wish
Big wins.
And hats off to the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. Another big, massive victory.
State rivals.
Yeah, just laying them to the, laying them down.
Hey, who would expect? We're losing to the Hornets, who I was pretty high on going into the season right now. So
yeah, exactly. All's right in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Hornets are good.
Yeah.
The Thunder are destroying it, and the Red Wings are knocking people left and right. So,
Right.
with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.